Peace, what's up y'all? This is Queen Sarita coming to you with another video. This one's about my tarot haul, the 20 tarot decks and oracle decks and inspirational decks that I actually have that I own. These are not decks I created. These are decks that I purchased to do readings with for other people and also for myself. So they all serve a different purpose, but the first one I'm going to show you is I'm going to show you the decks that I find to be the easiest for beginners. Because a lot of people that check out my channel, they like the readings that I used to do a whole lot, but they also love the intuitive information that I put on there, especially the tarot information. I do have a playlist if you want to check that out on YouTube, and you can get a part of the beginner's tarot course. I do have a full course, which is the intuitive tarot course for you to awaken to your intuitive gifts using tarot as a beginner. You can also join as intermediate or as someone who's, very skilled at tarot, who considers himself to be a pro. I find myself to be, if you want to know about me, I am a tarot teacher, but I'm also a student of tarot. I will be a student of tarot probably for life. I enjoy tarot so much. But let me tell you about this deck, this Radiant Rider White Tarot deck. Now, here's the book so you can see the words. There's a little bit of something on the book. The box is not here anymore. It was a little bit flimsy, so I let it go. And sometimes when stuff is a little too bulky, I will release it too. So here's what some of the pictures look like. As you can see, they have borders around them. They're very bright. They have that universal Radiant Rider White type of symbolism on it. I'm going to use the text that I wrote down as notes to let you all dive a little bit deeper into what these cards are about. For now, I just want to get through them. But this Radiant Rider White Tarot deck, most certainly, I would say is a good deck for beginners, or any Radiant or any Rider White Tarot deck as well, that you resonate with the images very well for you. Some people don't like images that are super bright. They want something a little bit more muted. So if that's you, then definitely go for that. So one of the reasons why this is one of my decks that I would say is good for beginners, because this is one of my very first tarot decks, okay? I really enjoyed this deck for its big, bright, vibrant colors, and this deck actually is a direct replica of like the so-called original images that came on a tarot deck at some point that somebody decided to create for this type of, tarot deck setup or system. There's many different types of tarot systems, so this is just one. But this is the one that's most used in the US that we know of. So what you can do here with this deck is so much. You can read for yourself, you can read for others, you can do reversals. It is a deck where the images, they kind of stick out in several different types of lighting, so I do like that. But I'll share more with you later on about this. The other thing is small hands. I needed a deck for small hands. This one's a good one for that, because I happen to be petite. I'm only 5'3". So my hands are not that big, okay? So I don't need a deck that's humongous. This deck is, it fits in my hand like this. And there's many ways that I shuffle with it, but this is a good deck for beginners. Now another one is Tarot Mucha. And look below for more info on this deck that I shared. I'm going to share the Tarot Mucha with you, which happens to be a vintage deck that I really think is pretty freaking cool. Tarot Mucha, here it is. Okay, I couldn't find it. Tarot Mucha, here it is. And it has the type of box that I like. It's got the nice sturdy box. And so there's an artist with the name Mucha, and somebody created an actual system. And so this was a tarot deck that has a strong box that I enjoyed. It's got a good book. It's got, what else? No words, just basically Roman numerals, but that was enough for me. Here's a picture of the book here. And the back of the cards. For this deck, this is an example of a deck that you may not want, you may not want. If you're someone who's not going to be doing reversals, then this works. It's a straight up and down deck. You can tell if it's upside down or not. So this deck is not the best for reversals, unless you close your eyes and pull cards. Otherwise, you want a deck like this where you can't tell whether it's upside down or not. And Tarot Mucha, I'm going to let you see some of the images. They're beautiful. They've got these beautiful borders on them. I thought they were absolutely stunning. But someone did say that these cards do nothing for the actual artwork to show you exactly what it looks like. I'm going to show you who made this deck also, and I'm going to have that listed. So yeah, Tarot Mucha, like I said, I really do like this deck. It's the cream color of the cards also is pretty cool. And then the other thing, I thought it's not the easiest for beginners, not this deck, because you're using Roman numerals on there. You would have to know how to use Roman numerals in your readings. You'd have to memorize that. But it does have the same White and Smith symbolism system that was created for the Rider-Waite type of tarot cards. They have a feel of reality to them, and I've read these many times. I'm supposed to have my timer on. I've read these tarot cards many times, and I'm actually using these for a story that I'm working on because of the way they're set up. So I haven't used these for readings in at least a year now. Okay, so I'll probably be doing that soon with that deck. Next one is going to be the Morgan Greer Tarot deck. And the Morgan Greer Tarot deck happens to be a vintage tarot deck that I really like a whole lot. Here's the book. It's just a fold out one that does the job if you're looking for a quick reference. The backs have stars on it, but the stars are big stars, and the images are extremely bright and they're very bold colored, you know. I would say this deck is a better deck for beginners, but it does have Roman numerals. So honestly, I would say this is not the best for beginners every time, because you may not know Roman numerals. That's something you might have to memorize. So you may just want to go with something that has numbers. Otherwise, you're going to have to memorize these numbers. And for some cards, you know, there's no words on there telling you what it means. And some there are. So this could be a next level tarot deck when you're looking to challenge yourself and go to the next level. You go to something like the Morgan Greer Tarot deck. I'll tell you more about that, but it's a vintage looking, it is a vintage deck. It's very old. There are a couple of melanated looking people in the deck, so I thought that was pretty cool. I've used them in some of my readings. You all have seen them before. Some of you all have, but I love reading with those. So let me give you another one that I do care for a whole lot. Well, I did use this deck a whole lot. It wasn't my absolute favorite, but here we go. The Gilded Tarot. Yeah, that's the next one. As you see, the backs have this cool look. Some people said, oh, that's not gilded. As you see, they got a lot of rubbing off there because I've been shuffling like crazy with these tarot decks. And I've done hundreds of thousands of readings with them. But here's the images. They look vibrant also, but they have a completely different type of style in the images. For you, they may be big enough, they may not be, they may be kind of small. The deck size is about the same as the other ones. It's got nice, you know, nice little border around it, and it's got these little color-coded things at the top that you have to learn how to use. It does have Roman numerals, so I wouldn't say this is the best deck for beginners either. However, yeah, they've got this color-coded thing going on, so you may like that system. And what else? They may not be the best for beginners, like I said, unless they resonate with you. And I got these for the bright colors. To me, they were a nice deck to have, and they're good to read reversals also, which a lot of times I will read as reversals. So yeah, that's that deck. Don't ask me where the box is. It was a little flimsy, so I had to let it go. Tarot New Vision. I do have the book for Tarot New Vision, because I think I bought this last year or this year, before everything starts shutting down around this coronavirus thing. So here we go. It has the Knight of Cups in 2 little circles, so you can't tell if it's reversed either, because it looks the same either way. So this is a good deck for beginners. Now this one may be a good deck for you, and you may find that this one works for you very well. Reason being, it's got the Roman numerals, and it also has the words of what type of card it is too. Let's double check if it has it throughout the deck. Yes. So yeah, here you go. So you got your number 1 there. You got different languages in the corner, the words written out, nice sized images. Images not too bright, but not too muted either. So Tarot New Vision, what is about that? What I dig about this tarot deck is the new images that you gain access to when you're looking at these cards. It gives you a different angle and an aspect of, like, a different way to look at the card. Usually when you're looking at a card like this, you don't see him from behind, right? You usually see him sometimes from the side, from the back. This one looks the same. This one shows some of the people. It shows the person's face. It shows the back of the page here of Pentacles. You usually don't see him from the back. So you kind of get to see what the image is looking at. They give you a little bit more of what else could be going on, possibilities and stuff. So this deck could be for people that are more advanced, and it could also be for those people who are just beginning. I think it's a pretty cool deck, though. You may really dig it like I do. All right, the next deck that I really think is, that's my traditional tarot decks right there. I've got some other ones here. Let me show you another one that is a bit non-traditional. It's the Osho Zen Tarot deck. Out of all of the tarot decks that I actually have, this tarot deck right here actually has the best book out of all of them. If you were looking for a book, if you're heavily spiritual and you want something that's really, deep, I'm going to put this back because this is not the part of, I'm not on these cards yet anyway. So we'll go back to that. Tarot New Vision. Then we're doing the Santa Muerte deck, which is right here. One of my favorite decks that I love. I think I might take this one home with me today and work with this one. So the Santa Muerte deck, it has one of those delicious boxes that I absolutely love. And you don't have to fight to get everything out of the box. Looks like this. Santa Muerte is, there you go. You can read up on her and see what she is about. But this is the Santa Muerte Book of the Dead tarot. And I definitely love this deck also because of the images. I'll just show you the book here. You can look in there. There's actually some pictures actually in the book, which I thought was pretty cool. And the person, whoever put that together, this deck together, they did a very nice creative job with it. You do have your words, you got your Roman numerals, you can read reversals with it. It's a glossy deck, but it's also very inspiring. Even though it's, about the so-called dead, the images are very creative, inspiring, beautiful, beautiful paintings. And there you go. The backs look like this for the Santa Muerte deck. It's a beautiful deck. This one, like I said, I use this and I like this for honoring the ancestors. Santísima Santa Muerte's wisdom and her divine knowledge come through very strongly in this deck. If that's what you're wanting to, get like protection, you're looking to work with your ancestors more, you're looking to work with, you're looking to see things from a different standpoint than normal. With the regular tarot, you're looking to do a little bit deeper work, So this deck celebrates the image of ourselves with no skin as a skeleton, and they're a powerful deck, and it uplifts with the symbolism of life and death. So yeah, I like this deck. The other one is, it can be read in reverse, like I said. I'm going to go to the next one so I don't bore you to death. But who can be bored from tarot? I don't know. I love tarot. Don't you love tarot? Yes, I do. I'm going to start putting things away because I'm going to be leaving soon. The next tarot decks we're going to be dealing with is, ooh, I forgot about the cat tarot. Yeah, the cat tarot. So what I love about this cat tarot deck, the box is cute. The box is just a regular, fold up box and stuff, but it's not very strong, but it's still beautiful that they put one with it. It's glossy. It can be reversed. This deck has the cats imitating. There's certain stars and certain public figures and stuff that they use to copy off of with this deck. This deck can be read in reversals, like I said, but the images, I thought the images were rather stunning. Now, you do have to memorize who they're, showing you images of here. Like this is the Magician card, so you would have to know that. It doesn't say the Magician on there. So this deck may not be the best for beginners, but it is a wonderful deck. As you see there, you would have to memorize those images on there and know what this is. Otherwise, you wouldn't have any idea. This one also, you would have to know the images. So this is the cat tarot. And what's cool about the cat tarot is that it's inspiring. It's like a vintage steampunk type of, I say Afro-punk feel to me. It doesn't have nobody melanated too much in there, but I just feel the energy of angels in this deck and the energy of the cats. I happen to be a cat lover, and I used to have cats, but I just wanted all my pets to be free, so I don't have them anymore. But this helps me to stay connected to the realm of the cats because I work with that energy. So yeah, the cat tarot, look at this side. This is what made me get it. I thought that was absolutely beautiful. And then look at the back. Beautiful. So yeah, that's the cat tarot. What's the next one for y'all? The Osho Zen Tarot. Okay, so we're going back to that. Sending y'all much love. That's the back of the Osho Zen Tarot. I love it. Freaking awesome. And since I actually used to be a Buddhist back in the day, that was like one of the first things that I went to when I already had declared I wasn't doing the Baptist thing anyway, but the first thing I started to claim for myself was Buddhism. And so I was always looking up Osho and seeing what he was talking about. I thought he was very, very deep, and I could understand and resonate with what he was talking about. Now, this deck may not be good for beginners because it's more like, it is a tarot deck, but it's a different type of tarot deck. It doesn't share the same type of symbolism. So you would have to know what this deck is talking about. Or with all these decks, I'll tell you a secret. So yeah, that's some of the cards for the Osho Zen Tarot deck there. Got this one. It doesn't inherently tell you exactly what card you have, although each card in here stands for one of the traditional tarot cards, like the Kings, Queens, Pentacles, Wands, all that kind of stuff is in here. But they've got this color-coded thing that you would have to figure out. Otherwise, you wouldn't be able to read it. And then that's the book. And like I said, the book is freaking massive. It's one of the best books that I've seen. It does have pictures in there, black and white pictures. They really did a great job with this. This is straight up, somebody channeled this, okay? Like I said, none of these decks are mine. I am actually sharing with you my personal decks that I purchased so I could do readings for other people and also for myself. A really good deck for spiritual development that I find is the Osho Zen Tarot deck. Some of the beginner decks that I showed were in the beginning that are good for the beginners. And another deck that I have, let me tell you what's next on my list here, the Crow Tarot. Okay, so I love this deck. I love this book. It is absolutely beautiful. I was in this store and this lady, she kept bringing up the crows every time I went in there. I work with crows and ravens anyway. So I was like, okay. It has a nice little book with it. It's nice and sturdy. It's beautiful though. It is absolutely stunning. Now the Crow Tarot can be reversed also if you can see the back of the card. It's very simple. It's like these leaves or maybe they're wings. They're beautiful though. So let me show you the images. Not the best, maybe. Let's see if they're good for beginners to read. I'm going to tell you in just a second. The reason why I would say no is because the Roman numerals, you don't know what that is. You would have to know what you're reading. I'm going to give you all some readings with this deck though, and I have been doing readings with it. Absolutely stunning. Kind of larger cards that I don't mind because you've got these gigantic, beautiful images. The cream color on them makes me want to just take a bite out of the cards. I just freaking love those colors like that. They're gorgeous. I'll let you see a couple more here. That's the Tower. You got this one, Three of Wands, the Lovers. You see that? So yeah, with this crow deck, I dig this deck because of the bird symbolism, the crows and ravens. That's what it says in there. It can be for either one. And it has very mysterious artwork on it. The cards are sturdy, and I think you'd like it a whole lot. There's my timer. I'm going to give it a few more minutes, and then we're going to get off of here so I don't run out of memory. So yeah, let's tell you what else we've got for our next one. Spirit Song Tarot. I would love to tell you all about this one. It's also got a very yummy box. I love this box. I love the finish on the tarot, on this Crow Tarot deck and on the Spirit Song Tarot because both of them have this matte finish. Love that. Sturdy box. I have used the heck out this deck. It's so pretty. So pretty. So yeah, that's the inside of that. It's got a nice size book also. I just noticed something pretty cool. Okay. All right. Let me show you all these. I'm going to leave one of these out because I think I was using it for something. So here we go. Now the book is nice because it tells you what these mean. You've got coyote in there, you've got a deer in there, you've got a ram, and you've got mountain lion in there, turtle is in there. You've also got the praying mantis as the hangman, which is the freaking, no, that's a cricket actually. No, it's a praying mantis. Praying mantis, which I love, as the hangman. So yeah, y'all, this deck here also has those yummy, creamy, minty type of colors to it. You would have to know what you're looking at also with this one because it says shells instead of what it, it's not a traditional tarot deck, it's non-traditional. So what does Nine of Shells mean? Well, you'd have to look at the book and see what they're using it, how they're using it, and then you could read it from that way. Like I said, you can read reversals because it's got this cool looking back here. Cards are a pretty nice size like the Crow deck, and I think you'd like it a lot. Cards are definitely very sturdy also. Now, our next deck we're going to talk about is going to be the Psychic Tarot Oracle deck. This deck I've had for a minute. Spirit just kept trying to get me to get this deck, and then eventually I did. Nice box. Definitely a nice box. Nice artwork. Nice book. Let you see it. Let me hurry up. All right. So with this, the images are, I love this for healing work, also for holistic healing work because of the chakra cards that are in there. You can read chakras with some of these decks. And these you see they have different colors and edges. They have different features than traditional tarot. So they're a tarot oracle deck as far as I'm concerned. But it is called a tarot oracle deck. So it has its own symbolism in there. And you're able to read the book and figure out what it is. That's one of those chakra cards. Awesome book though. Very, very cool. The backs, so you can read reverses. You wouldn't know which side it's on. Very sturdy cards. Very useful, very helpful. Very well put together. The other thing we've got, and then soon we're going to be finished because I didn't write everything down for all the cards. So Psychic Tarot for the Heart, this was the next deck that I was using that I had at home with me, and I just brought it back. So I'm going to take another deck with me. All right, so what's cool, by the way, the Gilded Tarot, they actually give you some spreads in there. And I haven't found any of the other decks. Well, they do it in their books. So that's cool. They give you that. That's from the Gilded Tarot. We talked about that earlier. So I'm going to tell you all about some angel decks in a minute. A goddess deck. Slide these around. All right, we only have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 with this one to go. So real quick, here's your box. Psychic Tarot for the Heart. Love it. The bomb. I have used the stuff out of this deck. Let me tell you. It is made by the same person, John Holland, as the Psychic Tarot. It has a nice juicy book. This book is even juicier than the other book. The other thing I love about this is it has chakra cards in it. Also, very thick deck, big cards, just like the other deck. But they're very sturdy. They're made to really sling some cards, and I have slung them. Also love the green, very healing. Very good deck for doing love readings and stuff like that. I love doing. I would say it's more of an advanced deck because of the color-coded system it has and all of that. Awesome, super-duper good deck. So this deck basically is like its sister deck, like I said. I love using this one for self-love, for work, relationships, family, and stuff like that. Inspiration and quick readings. Yeah. Next deck. These are all the crystals here. Now I'm going to let y'all see the last bit of what I have. Angels of Atlantis. Love this deck. Oh, it got so much love for me. It really did. And it has a sister deck. You can tell if you're doing reversals because all of the images on the back are all the same way, same direction. But here are your images here. It's got all the angel names in there. Beautiful deck. Very loving, very supportive energies here. And what I do love about this deck is the cards are huge, but the images, you know, they really are powerful. And so all of these little orbs that are on the top, they actually offer like a way to use the energy. And the book will tell you about that. It comes with a nice book. I think he did a great job with this. 44 cards. So yeah, then we got another deck. I'm going to show you that is the sister deck to this. Doesn't want to go in its box. Okay. This one. Angel Heart Sigils. So that other one had sigils on it already. there's the book. Nice book. Very nice. Our cards are very sturdy. They're not flimsy. And they are made for shuffling. These are made for lasting for a long time. They're awesome images too. Let me let you see one. They're glossy as heck. And I have used these a whole lot also. Hundreds of times. The backs, you can tell if you're doing reversals. This symbol right here comes from my ancestors, so y'all know I already be using that. And yeah, very nice deck though. I love it. The other deck we have is the Dark Goddess deck. The Dark Goddess deck I got when I was going through a difficult time, and also was looking to help people out with feeling more confident about the direction in life they were going in and all that kind of stuff. The symbol is a goddess symbol, the triple goddess. Cards are nice and big. As you can see, that's the back of the box. We've got 48 cards in this versus 44 like the last deck. And here's the book. The book is very nice. It has pictures, everyone in there. They did an excellent job. The box, very sturdy, just like the last ones. And the cards, they're very sturdy. I would say maybe they're not that sturdy. If you're rough with cards, you might want to be careful with these. These mothers are folded in half. They're not sturdy like the last cards, but the images on them are absolutely beautiful. Do you see that? Let me let you see what we got. Okay, so yeah, there's also insight in the book, which helps you work with these images and helps you say some invocations and stuff, so you can work with the particular goddess to assist you with working on certain types of energies that you want. The edges are gilded with silver. I love that. They're really gilded. Love it. Let's wrap it up. We're 32 minutes in. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 decks to go. I'll be so glad. Now the next deck is a deck that I have absolutely fallen in love with too. This one. This deck, Power Thought Cards by Louise Hay. Beautiful, beautiful deck. And they're double-sided. So one side has a shorter message. And then one side has a longer message. This is an inspirational tarot, it's an inspirational deck, 64 card deck, as you may have seen. That's a good bit of cards, you know. It's actually affirmations and, yeah, a deck of affirmation cards to help you find your inner strength. Love these. So let's look at this. This is another one. I let go of all expectations. So no matter which way you turn the cards, there's a message. You don't have to keep these cards in the same direction at all. They're made to just be in any kind of way. I love it. Such a beautiful deck. And there's other ones. I really like this one. And I don't even have all the cards in there, y'all. Some of the cards are in my purse right now because I like to use them. Let's get these other cards over here. Last 4. We've got Ganesha. I love this deck. Let me show you the box. The box is humongous. Show you how big it is in my hand. Of course, you can't see my hand. Let me let you see how big it is. Okay, so I can barely put my hands around it. It's that big. Now, Ganesha is a deity you may or may not have heard of, but it's all around in my life. So I work with Ganesha, and I love the images on these cards, and I really love working with Ganesha to help other people to see a way where there seems to be no way, or to find a way or explore a way. Now look at the images. This deck has some of the most beautiful images I've seen on almost any cards, really. And they're glossy on top of that. Look at that. Look at that. Look at that. Delicious. Beautiful. Look, 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 look. And I love elephants too. Oh, I love it. So beautiful. So yeah, Ganesha's deck, y'all. That's that. I got 2 more decks for you. 3 more decks. Okay, awesome. Now this I'm going to save for a second. These are cool. These are really cool. These are super cool. I'm not going to let y'all do those. This is the deck of 1,000 spreads. Now, what is the deck of 1,000 spreads? Well, it's not an actual tarot deck. It's not even an oracle deck. This deck is strictly for doing tarot spreads with, and you lay your tarot cards on top of each one of these cards in a formation. So, for instance, if I want to do on-the-spot tarot spread for somebody wanting, like, business success, what's crossing their path? What are the pros of them looking at whatever options they're looking at? What are the pros of the options that they're looking at? What should they leave in the past, you know, that'll get them to move forward to the success they want in their business? This is how I use this deck. So you got a little explanation there on how the card is used, and there's your back. But these lay here, and then a card lays on top of them like this, face down. So they're made for having like this size. All right, we gotta hurry and wrap it up. I'm gonna repeat it one more time. We can wrap it up in 15 minutes. It's made to have this size card on it, you know, because this actually just shows this. And then when you lift it up, you get to read your explanation here, an attitude or a situation it's time to let go of in regard to the spread's topic. So yeah, they tell you and kind of give you an idea of how to use it. I think it's super awesome. I've used this deck a lot of times. You can use it for all kinds of stuff. And yeah, you can do 1,000 spreads with this. It's more advanced, but it is the bomb. It's awesome. I'm going to put these things back around here. The last 2 decks I've got for you are 2 decks that I use for health and healing. Let me let you all see my face again while I show you these last 2 decks. Health and healing. Okay, so we've got these beautiful Mucha decks, right? Oh man, I'm about to drop my crystal ball right on the floor, in my lap. So yeah, the Mucha deck. One of these Mucha decks, these are for, you've seen people when they're meditating, and I happen to be a meditation teacher, meditation yoga teacher. They do things with their hands and make certain gestures with their hands. So this one's about awakening the 5 elements that are within the body. This one's for awakening the energy body. These decks are super awesome and helpful because I do these. I've used hand mudras for digestion, for awakening to more of who I am, for being more consistent with certain things I want to be more consistent with. These cards can also be used as oracle cards because they actually have words on them. So even if a person didn't even want to do the hand mudras and they just wanted to use the words on the back that say, hey, you know, it'll be good to work on this, it'll be good to work on that. It's also got chakra cards in each deck. And it also has like ideas, not ideas, but suggestions of what it assists with, the benefits, instructions, and focus. So it's got an affirmation actually down there too that you get to use if you want to, or you can use your own. I like having these like laying in the room kind of against the baseboard, like, you know, on the floor. Like when I pass by certain areas of my house, I get to see these, but I also love how sturdy the boxes are. They really put a lot of work into this. and they're beautiful. So yeah, that's all the decks that I have. The other deck looks